Jeremy.
Yeah.
Networking.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like myself, it just makes your teeth grind when you think about it. There's this feeling of selling yourself, this whole, being too pushy, intrusive. It's something that I personally avoid if I can.
Okay.
So I'm going to set you a challenge. And I'd like you to convince me otherwise. Why should I be networking?
Okay. Well, first of all, you're not alone, I think, in thinking those thoughts about networking and avoiding it, if you like. On the other hand, there are some people who would regard networking as very much part of their personal development, part of their career development, part of their journey through life, and they see it as a very worthwhile and a very valuable activity to be involved in. So I think it starts up here really in terms of what's your mindset? Is it legitimate or is it not legitimate? And I think one way to help that mindset and to turn it into a positive one is to think about networking as being to do with reciprocity. It's about a reciprocal working relationship with somebody else in which you both benefit. So I always see networking as an opportunity to meet with people who have some common interests, who I can potentially help because I've got some experience and some insights that might help them. They've got some insights and experience that might help me. And together, as a result of meeting one another, we discover actually there's a lot that we can get from that first meeting, and we can go forward with that meeting into perhaps a longer term relationship, which is going to benefit the both of us. So if we didn't know about each other, we wouldn't be able to do that. So that's my start point, really. I don't know if that sort of sits more comfortably with you.
Definitely, but there is one I'd like you to address. How can you stop it coming across as being a little self-serving? Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I think any new relationship starts with gaining a little bit of rapport, showing an interest in the other person, their interests and their experiences, and matching those to yours if you can, and building up a platform, if you like, of that common ground, that common experience of which you can then work to communicate more openly with them, because there is that common interest, if you like, and you can then develop that into talking more about business related or work related issues, and you can continue on then to talk about maybe the challenges that you both have, and then you can talk on from there in terms of maybe consulting with the other person about what those challenges are and how you might be able to help them with those, and in a similar way they might consult with you about your challenges, and together you're beginning to build a sort of an open two-way communication which has the potential of collaborating one with the other, toward a longer term mutual benefit. We might call that working in partnership in the longer term. But, I stress that the way that you present yourself is not, let's just get over the first minute of introductions and then I'm going to start telling the person what I do and how good I am and what help I'm looking for and can they help me. That's not what it's about at all. And you set that sort of tone right at the start, that it's a friendship, it's a positive relationship, it's a long-term potential partnership that might be possible if the two of us work together. And I think that's the way I would position it.
Well, I think you may have twisted my arm.
Okay. Well, I'm glad if I have, because I think that a final point or two that I would mention is that once you begin to extend, if you like, the number of people that you're in contact with, that you begin to open up new ways of learning. You always learn from other people. You take a lot of pleasure from contributing things that are worthwhile to them, and that to me is a big motivator. But also, as a result, your community, if that's the right word, your collection of contacts, the collection of people that you know will grow. And in a sense, if they know about you, I always think of them perhaps a little bit crudely as my unpaid sales force. In other words, if somebody is wanting some help with something, they'll think of me because I know them. In the same way, I'm their unpaid sales force. If they are in a situation where they can help a client of mine, and I certainly can't because I don't have the expertise, I will recommend them, which is that reciprocity thing. And so it becomes a part of the longer term glue between us, and it grows into a wider community. And that in itself is fabulous.
So it should be seen more of a two-way street rather
Definitely.
than just putting yourself out there.
Absolutely. And I would suggest that if you do put yourself out there, you're just simply not going to succeed.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.